Hello, you guys, and welcome back to Mystical Visions. So, today we're doing a reading that's a little different than usual because instead of just getting a straight long message, we're going to actually divide it into a couple of different questions. So, today we're going to take a look at where in your life you need support right now. I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled some of the cards. For pile one, we have a carnelian stone. For pile two, this blue sodalite. And for pile three, we have a citrine. So today we're going to take a look at where in your life you need help, why you need help in that specific area, and also whom you should likely reach out to help you with the situation. And I'm actually going to shuffle on camera for the first time in a very long time. So I'm going to allow you guys to ask a question towards the end of the reading. We'll shuffle live and we'll see what these animal spirit oracle cards have to say, and I'll read from the book. So as you pick your pile, keep that in mind. Make sure you have a question in mind. I'll give you some time to think as I shuffle as well. But yeah, just keep that in mind. I'll give you guys some time with the cards. As always, if this reading resonates and if you find it helpful, please remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps the channel out so much. We are really close to 200, and I'd be so excited if you wanted to join along for this incredible spiritual journey with me. So without much further ado, have a look at the three piles, see which one resonates best for you. Timestamps are in the description, and I'll see you at your reading. Pile number one, hello, welcome to your reading about where in your life you need support right now. So if you picked this beautiful carnelian stone, then this is your reading, and someone seems to be moving furniture right now, which is strange because it is literally 10:20 p.m. Okay, so I've gone ahead and shuffled your cards in advance. The way I want to do this is these two cards are going to tell us where you actually need support in your life. These two will tell us why you need support in this specific area. And then these two will give us an idea of whom you could potentially reach out to for this support, this help. And then, of course, we'll get some advice, and then we'll answer a question by shuffling an animal spirit card. So without much further ado, let's dive in. So where in your life do you need support right now? Pile number one, we have justice. That could literally be a legal matter in your life right now that you need help with. Let me just adjust this light real quick. There we go. Okay, that's better, so it's not quite as glary. There could be a legal matter that you're having to deal with right now, pile one. And that's the literal interpretation of this card. But there could also be a situation in your life where you're being treated unfairly. So, for instance, this could be a one-sided friendship, a one-sided relationship. This could be your work demanding too much of you and not paying you enough. It's a situation of injustice. And I feel, because this is a major arcana, I feel like this is taking up a pretty significant chunk of your energy, just coping with this, just, having to deal with not just the present situation as it comes up, but also the emotional and mental repercussions of these issues that keep cropping up where you're not being treated fairly. Pile one, is there somewhere in your life, is there someone in your life that is taking from you way more than they are willing or able to give to you? That's the kind of issue I'm seeing here. And I don't think this is something that is like elusive or I don't think it's something that you don't recognize already. I think you know fully well where you're being treated unfairly, and it's a very unbalanced relationship. If it's, a relationship, or even if it's just your relationship to your work. Yeah, this is definitely giving me like boss tantrum. It's giving me people who violate your boundaries constantly, that kind of thing. To clarify, we have the world. I think, okay, so this situation, whatever it is, like I said, it's probably dominating your entire life right now. It's probably taking up all of your energy, all of your time. And it could also be triggering lots of old wounds, because this is kind of making me think of like Scorpio energy for some reason. Even though the world has like all four fixed signs, it's taking me to very scorpionic energy, very death, past, that kind of energy. But I feel like there's something about how you're being treated right now that is triggering injustices in your past as well. And because of this, you might have become a very jaded person, part one, or you might be well on your way to becoming very jaded about everyone and everything. And I think this is why this is coming up right now, is so that you don't think of the world as being exactly like this. So that you don't look at every single person and think they will treat you the same exact way that this person does. So you don't see all of the potential job opportunities out there and think that they will all require this much out of you every single time. Yeah, I think it's very, very important for you to seek support in that area. I don't know what that support would look like, but let's go deeper into the reading. But for sure, this is somewhere you are not being treated fairly at all. So next, let's take a look at why you need support in this area, although I think we've mostly figured it out. But Two of Coins, it's a very precarious balance. There's a lot of talk about balance here, Power One. Do you feel like you're on the verge of like falling over? You know that feeling of, I am this close to falling apart? I feel like that's where you're at right now, like mentally and emotionally. So, yeah, the reason you need help in this situation is because I feel like you're barely holding it together. I'm going to be honest, Pal One. It feels like you seem like you have everything under control, but you know that all it's going to take is one straw and it's going to break the camel's back. Like you are that close. And I definitely feel like this is an urgent situation where you definitely need to seek help right now. And quite frankly, this could be something like changing jobs or getting out of a tough relationship or even just seeking therapy. Therapy can help us deal with a lot of anxiety inducing situations and stressful situations, and if not make them go away, it can at least give us some ways in which we can cope with these situations in a healthy manner. And well, whatever you do choose, the point is that even though it might seem you have everything under control and everything is balanced, it's a very precarious balance. It's like You know, in Jenga, where you're coming towards the end of a game and everything is balanced on that one little block, and all it takes is one person to mess up? It feels like that. To clarify the Two of Coins, we have the Knight of Swords. Yeah, you're pushing forward at an alarming rate, and not pushing forward in a good way. It feels like you're essentially trying to bury this, like brush it under the carpet, bury your head in the sand. Nothing's wrong, nothing's wrong. I'm fine. If I just keep working, it will sort itself out. It won't sort itself out, Pile One. I'm so sorry. You have to actively make the effort to change your situation. And in fact, do you see how the Knight of Swords, they say when you read tarot, you should look at the direction in which the court cards are facing. Do you see how he's brandishing his sword towards the entire world? I feel like you're very quickly approaching, like I said, approaching a point where you might, there we go, that's that confirmation honking. You might be approaching a point where where you learn to be jaded about the entire world, where you feel like, if this situation could happen to me a couple different times, that means the entire world is like this and there is no escape. So I best settle down and get used to the bare minimum, or get used to these difficult situations, because there's nothing out there that's gonna be better than this. It doesn't get any better. I feel like that's why you've been drawn to this reading today. Although I'm intending for this to be timeless and for this reading to find you when you need it. Whenever you're watching this, now is the time to seek help, because you are so on edge that one little shift, one little change, one little upset might bring you crumbling down, Pile One. And we don't want to get to that point. We don't want to get to the point of breakdown. We want to make sure that we are well clear of all of that kind of thing, right? And that's why you definitely need to seek help in this area. And let's look at whom you could reach out to potentially to help you with this. We have the Empress. Possibly a mother figure, someone who nurtures you, someone whom spending time with them makes you look inwards. This could be a feminine person. They don't have to be female or identify as a woman or anything like that, but their energy feels very nurturing, very calm and receptive. This person probably like bakes you things a lot, is what I'm hearing. They probably make sure that you're comfortable. The mum friend in your friend group, whoever plays the mum role, that's the person you want to reach out to. It could be a literal mother, or someone with like Taurus placements. And also, the Empress is usually a character that looks inwards a lot. So while you do reach out for help, make sure that whatever help you get is kind of helping you go inwards a little more. I feel like you've been so in your out there energy that part of the reason why you're so on edge is because you've kind of lost connection with your inner self, your inner child, your higher self, your inner truth, your soul. It almost feels like you've disconnected from that because of all this chaos. So when you do reach out for help, based on the advice you get, only follow the stuff that makes you pause and look into your soul, into your mind, go inwards. And to clarify this, we have the Six of Wands. Interesting. So this person is actually very successful at doing what you need them to do. This might be like a well-known psychologist, a well-known therapist, or just someone with lots of accolades to their name. Or alternately, this could be someone you hear about via word of mouth. Someone that's like, oh, I reached out to this person for advice and they really helped me and they might be able to help you. Or you've heard this person give someone advice before and they've really had some very wise things to say. There's 3 and 6 here. That's interesting. Both multiples of 3. They might be 3 or 6 years older than you. Months, days, weeks. I don't know. Or they could be born in March or June. But this person, I feel, will definitely be successful in helping you look inwards, for one, and for two, actually cut people out that you don't need. Because the 6 of Wands usually comes after the 5 of Wands, which is lots of conflict. But then it's followed by the 7 of Wands, which is people trying to steal this victory. So I think this person will get you to a state where you feel stable enough to continue dealing with this. I'm definitely getting big therapy vibes here, Pal 1. This person, maybe you know a therapist in the family, or, obviously be ethical about it, but maybe they can recommend you to someone, things like that. But definitely this feels like a feminine person with very strong feminine energy, and they are definitely good at what they do. And the advice they give you, you'll know it's the right person, because the advice they give you won't even necessarily be advice. It's more like they will hold space for you to come up with a solution yourself. That's what I'm seeing here. It's not that they'll give you lots to memorize and, a million different techniques and workbooks to work through. I feel like all they'll need to do is hold space and make you feel safe enough to go inside and confront all the ways in which you have taken nonsense from people, all the ways in which you have given way more than you've received, to face that and to to accept that, okay, I've done this in the past. It was wrong in the sense of I was not doing myself justice, but I can do better moving forward. I think you might have not very many conversations with this person, but you will always come out feeling way, way better and way better equipped actually to deal with this than you feel going in. I'm getting the feeling of like you might meet up for like tea at a cafe. That's so interesting. Maybe they like tea a lot. Maybe you drink tea with them a lot. That's just something. But what advice does the universe have for you about the situation? We have the Great Gathering. It's all coming together. Intuitive hits, Soul Tribe. Okay. I just had an interesting message come through. I feel like whoever this person is, they are part of your soul tribe, but not necessarily in a very active way. I feel like you've probably always been aware of this person in the background. You may not be like the best of friends, but they might be in your friend group, or you may not be the closest of family, but you know them, and every time you've met them, it's always been warm and cordial. But right now is where they kind of activate in your soul circle for you, and they might fade into the background again. Like you see how all these souls here, there are some that are right up front, and these, I would say, represent your soulmates, your closest friends, your partners, your children. And then as you go further back, all of these souls still play a pivotal role in your life, but they just don't show up. They don't crop up as frequently as these front runners. And I feel like this person is somewhere like there, like 2 levels removed from your most prominent soul family. But it's time to activate them. And to allow them to fulfill their purpose in your journey, because that's why they were brought into the fringes of your life. Interesting reading, pile 1. But let's go ahead and ask your question. So go ahead and think of a question that you would like an answer to. It doesn't necessarily have to be yes or no. It could just be any. Okay, straight away we have the Stag Spirit in reverse. So I hope you had your question ready. Stag Spirit, take the lead. But in reverse. Now, this deck has meanings for both upright and reverse positions. So let's go ahead and have a look in the little book. So number 58, if that's significant, maybe this person is 58 years old. Okay, Stag Spirit, take the lead, protection message. Others may not be as far along as you are on your journey. When Stag Spirit appears in the protection position, which is the reverse, you are called to be compassionate and patient as you find yourself leading the way. When others struggle to follow you, they may be unsure that you can be trusted, challenging you to be kind and strong, challenging your value and questioning your worth. Know that Spirit has put you in this place at this time for a purpose and will not abandon you when you need help with your new responsibilities. Let go of your fears and let Stag Spirit remind you that you have what it takes to lead wisely and ethically if you practice self-honesty and listen to others who wish to support you. I do think that you might change jobs, or you might get a promotion, or you might have had a promotion that's caused all this sudden chaos in your life. And because of that, do you see how this knight is leading charge? How this figure here is also holding a sword? And this could be a celebration. Okay, I'm not going to go back over all the cards. The point is, this situation may just be the nudge that pushes you towards being more accepting of who you truly are, who you have the potential to become. It might push you to ask for more, to understand that you deserve more than you've been allowing yourself to have. But in either case, this person will definitely teach you about your worth. Pile 1. So that's your reading about where in your life you need support right now. Very interesting. I hope it resonated and that these messages helped you. And if they did, please do remember to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. It really helps me out. It helps my channel out. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today and sharing your energy and letting me read for you. I really do hope it helped. Stick around to the end of this video, to the outro, for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye! Hi Pile 2, and welcome to your reading about where in your life you need support right now. So if you picked this beautiful blue sodalite crystal, then you're in the right place. Welcome. So when I was shuffling your cards out, they were quite stubborn. I'm gonna be honest. Every time I asked for 1 card, I got 2. Every time I asked for that was pretty much it. Every time I asked for 1 card, I always got 2. So you might have been drawn to 2 separate piles. But anyway, so today we're going to take a look at a couple of different things. So our first two tarot cards are going to tell us about where in your life you actually need support right now. The next two will tell us why you need support in this area. The final two will tell us whom you should likely reach out to for support in this area. Our oracle card is going to give us some advice on the situation. And then we'll shuffle these live on camera, well, not live, but on camera in front of you, for an answer to a question you may think of. Now, when I shuffled for pile one, the card came out straight away. So make sure you have your question prepared in advance because you might not have very much thinking time. But let's dive in, pile two. So, where in your life do you need support right now? Our first card is death. Oh, you're going through some major transformation. A big ending of some sort, but in a good way. I think a big cycle in your life right now has come to a very... It almost feels like you anticipated this end, or you saw it coming from a million miles away. And you're almost relieved that it happened because now it means you can move on with your life. However, I feel like this is such a big deal because for this to be a major arcana, it's a significant change. However, I feel like you might be someone who's quite hyper independent. You might be trying to deal with I'm hearing all of the formalities all by yourself. This might be something that involves a lot of paperwork, maybe like a separation or ending school or dropping out of school or something like this that requires a lot of running around doing a lot of chores to get this finalized. But whatever this ending is, you saw it coming from a million miles away. Like you almost knew it was bound to happen. And now that it's finally happening, you're like, oh, I can now move on. Like that phase of my life is over. I can move on now. But the issue is, do you see how this character is so little, but what they're trying to uncover, what they're trying to work through seems so massive. But she's going to try and uncover it or, deal with the issue herself anyway. And the point is she doesn't have to. And although I feel like you may be a little wary of, asking for help with this situation, it might feel quite personal. There's a reason it's coming up in this reading. So to clarify, we have the Three of Swords in reverse. I think the reason you're being called to ask for help, and we haven't got to the why quite yet, but this definitely feels like a heartbreak type situation. It feels like a long-term connection of some sort is coming to a close. And although you saw this coming and you knew it was bound to happen, it's still a lot to, get your life back, I can't speak. It's always a lot of work to go back to the beginning and start all over, right? And I don't think you're heartbroken. I mean, obviously, it comes with a certain level of heartbreak. However, I feel like you have grieved enough and you're past that stage. And you're at the point where you're like, okay, I need to get going. I need to get all this stuff sorted out so I can move on. And because of that, you might feel like, okay, I'm fine, right? I'm fine. I can deal with this all by myself. And I'm sure you can, pile 2, but the point is you don't need to. You don't have to. It almost feels like by refusing to ask for help, you're kind of trying to convince yourself that you're okay, that this doesn't hurt you, this doesn't affect you. Because we tend to mask our grief in many different ways. And even though you may have seen this coming, it's still heartbreaking. And I feel like by throwing yourself into all this work, into sorting out this mess, you might somewhere be avoiding feeling the feelings. Or you just may not have a choice when you're dealing with all this yourself to actually stop and feel your feelings. And that is why we ask for help, Paltu. It's so if our community can share some of that labor, share some of the work, then it gives us a bit of time to grieve. This is why when there's actual deaths, right, when people pass away, their family, their community gather around them to comfort them. It's not necessarily just to show their support it's not necessarily just performative. Why do we bring food to families that are grieving? Why do we offer hugs and words of comfort? It's so we can take away as much of the burden of living day to day as we can for them, so that they then have the time and space to really process their grief. And I feel like by refusing to ask for help, you are not processing your grief. And in doing so, you're kind of prolonging that death moment. Interesting. So I feel like we already know the answer to this, but why do you need support in this area of your life? We have the 7 of Coins in reverse. There's almost this feeling of, well, I guess I didn't invest enough in this anyway, so why would I grieve? Or why would I need help getting out of this? Alternately, you've invested so much into this connection, into this situation, whatever it is, that there is that added layer of having to cut your losses and move on from that. And that is a difficult situation to deal with emotionally, to process, because so much of our life in this day and age is about there's not enough time, there's not enough resources. And so when you feel like you've almost wasted resources, which I don't believe anything is ever wasted, because you always learn and grow, but it can sometimes feel like, oh, why did I spend all this time trying to chase this one thing, only to realize that it's really not for me? It's easy to fall into that trap. And sometimes we just need people to bring us out of it and to remind us why we did it and what we learned through the process. To clarify this, we have the 2 of Wands in reverse. You might be feeling a little short-sighted, even though you don't realize it right now. Okay. I think I get what's happening. You might be rushing through this process of change. Okay, because what's interesting is the only upright card is the Death card, which is Scorpio, and Scorpio is fixed water. It is a slow energy. It doesn't move unless you've completely processed everything there is to process, and then it goes on to the next one. And I think with these 2 cards here, it's like you don't want to linger for much longer. Say, for instance, you are going through something like a breakup, a separation, something like this. You might be in a headspace where you're like, I'm just going to get my stuff and I'm going to be out. I don't want to deal with this anymore. And that's fair enough. You know, we are entitled to that feeling. However, when we think about your headspace right now, it's in a very avoidant energy, right? And avoidant energy does not allow us to process. And so while this headspace was great to get you out of a tough situation, now that the tough situation, the immediate danger has passed, this headspace, or holding on to this headspace of like, let me just rush through this and, you know, get through this ending as quickly as possible so I can move on. That rushing energy is not allowing you to process the loss, to process the change. And because of that, you probably feel very anxious, very rushed. It feels like you are convinced that you're eager for the future or you're looking forward, when in fact, it feels more like you're simply avoiding the present, like you're disassociating with the present and the past by living in a fantasy of the future where you do get your happy ending. And so the reason I think this reading has come to you right now is to ask you to seek help from people who will ground you in the present moment. Especially if you've been isolating a lot, I feel like you may have been rushing through that grief. And you may have chosen to isolate because every single person around you reminds you of the grief and you don't want to deal with it. So whom should you reach out to for help with this area of your life? We have the Page of Cups. Aww. This is big time soul family energy, soulmate energy. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic soulmate, which might be quite ironic depending on your situation. But this feels more youthful. If you have a younger sibling or a friend who is very youthful, who has very young energy, I think they might really help bring you into the present and do it in a humorous way, in a gentle way, so that you're not wallowing or drowning in the present moment. You know how sometimes when we're grieving, just being in the present moment can feel so heavy. It can feel like your heart is like, it weighs 3 tons. But this person is someone who brings a lot of lightness into your life, a lot of levity. I definitely get like younger sibling vibes here, or younger cousin, or someone like that. Someone who you have an unbreakable bond with, which is what makes me think family. Because, you know, you're going to be siblings forever. But it feels like you and this person have been through a lot together as well. Even if it wasn't like negative experiences, you've just spent a lot of time with them. And they know you inside out. And more importantly, they know exactly how to work you, but they've probably used it against you. But in this situation, I feel like they know how to work around your walls and how to kind of like burrow their way into your life and help you from the inside out. But most of all, I think just being around this person allows you to ground into the present situation. To clarify that, we have the 7 of Swords. Didn't I just say this person knows how to work you? And in the past, you may have, fought them. And this, I feel like, I don't have any siblings, but I feel like this is what siblings do to each other. From what I've heard and seen, I feel like this is what siblings do, is they know how to push each other's buttons. And they know exactly what will get a rise out of people, out of each other. and how they can get the exact reaction they're looking for from their siblings. And I think if you do reach out to this person, whoever this is, whatever role they play in your life, they will find a sneaky little way to get you to face your demons, to get you to face the situation and actually grieve. And you won't even realize you're doing it. Oh, I love this person, Paltu. Whoever this is, you are so, so lucky to have them, because not only are they so happy-go-lucky and lighthearted, but this person is also extremely intelligent and very, very intuitive. And I feel like you are very deeply emotionally connected to them. And because of this, they know you inside and out, and they know when it's time to make a joke and when it's time to sit down and listen. And so I feel like when you reach out to this person, they'll be like, on it, I already had a plan this whole time. I was just waiting for the go-ahead. They've been planning on helping you heal this whole time, and they've just been waiting for you to give them the green light. So that's whom you should be reaching out to, Paltu. So let's take a look at your oracle advice. Dance with life. Do something to change your energy. There's that levity again. I feel like you've been in such heavy energy for so long, Paltu. Like I said, you probably saw this ending coming a million miles away. And because of this, you've probably been in that heavy energy of, I need to protect myself. I need to make sure that I'm taken care of when this tower falls, that kind of thing. And it is time to allow yourself to process enough that you can feel lightness again. And even while you're doing all this heavy processing and grieving and healing work, make sure you set some time aside to simply just do the things that make you happy, even if it's just for like a millisecond. Watch your shows, go out dancing, go out clubbing, paint, do some crochet, spend some time with plants like I do all the time. Do something to change your energy. Definitely hang out with this person for sure, because they will gladly take care of this bit. And also, there's a lot of moon. There's a moon here. There's a whole bunch of moons here. You might find that, your moon sign is their sun sign and vice versa, or you might be connected on your mother's side of the family or something like this. Or you might just have a very deep emotional connection with this person. So finally, think about your question, because it is time to get an answer from the animal spirit guide. So, you got your question? Let's see. What is the answer to pile number 2's question? What is the answer? Oh, okay. You're getting a little extra time to... Oh, there we go. Never mind. We have the porcupine spirit in reverse. Time for beginner's mind. So, of course, I like to read these from the book. You guys know the drill by now. So, this is number 48, if that means anything to you. Maybe you're 48 years old. Maybe this person is. Or it's been 48 years, Porcupine spirit protection message. Time for a beginner's mind. Are you feeling prickly and defensive lately and assuming you will be hurt before you've seen any sign that such a reaction is called for? Perhaps an old sense of guilt and shame is causing you to be cynical and wary when you are meant to be open and curious. Self-protection is a good thing, but you may be protecting yourself from something that will not actually harm you, but will instead bring you abundance, happiness, and love. Porcupine quills are filled with air, allowing a porcupine to float in water. Now is a time to let your innocent nature keep you buoyant. See, it is all about bringing a bit of levity into your life, Paltu. You've been in such heavy energy, like Scorpio energy to me feels like being trapped at the very bottom of the ocean with weights on your ankles to keep you down while you try to do an assignment. It's time to like cut that. Oh, interesting, because this thread is like tied around his ankles and the rabbit is like setting it free. Interesting. Yeah. When you see kelp, it's going to feel like coming to the surface and breaking out, breaking out the surface of the water. And that is what the universe wants for you right now. So that's your reading, Paltu, about where in your life you need support. Make sure you reach out to this person because I feel like they're going to make your life infinitely better. But yeah, I really hope this reading resonated. It was very, very interesting. And I hope you're able to process and heal from whatever you're going through right now. Thank you so, so much for spending some time with me and sharing your energy with me and letting me read for you today. I really do hope it helped. Stick around to the end of this video. Oh, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps the channel out a lot. Stick around to the end of this video for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye. Pal number 3, hello. Welcome to your reading about where in your life you need support right now. So if you picked this citrine crystal, then welcome. I'm gonna be honest. I feel like I need to try and impress you. Because when your cards came out, they did not play around. They came out in the exact number, in the exact order I needed them to. And while I was prepping to record your pile, I just felt this like intense need to make sure everything looks great and everything is perfect and everything is aligned and all that. And I don't like doing that. I don't like feeling restrictive in how I can express myself. So maybe you're feeling that energy. Maybe you're feeling like your creativity is stifled a little bit. But that's just by the by. So I've gone ahead and pre-shuffled your cards, and we're going to ask a couple different questions today. So with our first 2 tarot cards, we'll take a look at where in your life you need support right now. These next 2 cards will tell us about why you need support in that area. These final 2 tarot cards will tell us whom you should be reaching out to in order to receive the support. And you'd be surprised at how precise these are. And finally, we'll take a look at this one oracle card for some for some general advice on your situation and why you should be seeking out help and all that good stuff. And then finally, we'll take a look at an answer to a question that you have. So without much further ado, sorry about accidentally flipping over the oracle card and spoiling it if you saw it. But let's go ahead and get started. So where in your life do you need support right now, Pal 3? The Devil. Ooh. Okay. Straight away, Capricorn energy. That would explain the need to try and impress you. Capricorn is that boss energy. It's the manager, the CEO who demands a lot, because Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and Saturn does not take mediocrity. Saturn will punish mediocrity, and you might be dealing with a superior of some sort. This definitely gives me career vibes. This might have to do with your job. But you're probably dealing with a superior who does nothing but criticize your work and constantly puts you down for the slightest of mistakes or the slightest of subjective opinion, you know? Alternately, if you're a business owner, you might be in an unfair contract with like a very nitpicky client, and it is feeling very nitpicky to me. It's like there's someone in your life that you would consider a superior who criticizes your every move, pile three, and it's like just knowing that they're watching makes you perform way worse than you would have if they weren't around. So it's just an endless cycle. You're going to make a mistake. They point it out. It causes you to make even more mistakes, and the cycle goes on. To clarify, we have the Wheel of Fortune in reverse. There's definitely just two major arcana. This feels like you feel like this is just the worst time of your life where, yeah, where it feels like someone is just on you, constantly getting at you, trying to force you to do things and do things a very specific way that you don't even enjoy and doesn't even make sense. But just because they asked you and they kind of own you, you kind of have to follow it. This definitely feels like a boss or like a parent situation, some kind of power trip. It's like someone's holding power over you and you can do nothing to work past it. It's like you're obligated. Like you may have a literal contract or a karmic contract with this person, and it feels like there's nothing you can do. You feel like you're just unlucky. Like your fortune is never going to change, and the wheel is never going to turn upright again. It feels like you're tied to this person and you can't shake them off. Interesting. This person might be quite snaky in the way they act and the way they talk. So it's like they're quite manipulative, quite cunning, quite or covert in how they operate. But whatever it is, you're like done, bro. Like you're ready to get out. And that's where it's time to seek out some help. So let's take a look at why you should be seeking out help in this situation instead of just trying to fix it yourself. We have the Moon in reverse. You're very, very emotionally attached to the situation, and it feels like you're not thinking clearly. Or you're not able to because your emotions are running so high. And yeah, didn't I say this might be a parent situation? This might be a mother situation. You might have a mother or a mother figure that's so intent on power trips. But because there is this contract, whether it's, spoken or unspoken, it feels like you cannot escape it. Like, think about your relationship with a mother. That is not a relationship you can, cut off. Even if physically or socially you cut them off, there will still be that understanding that that is your mother, right? It feels like that kind of relationship where you just can't shake them off. And that's why you need help, pile 3, because it feels unending. It feels like doomsday thinking. And that is usually a very heavy precursor to panic, to like a panic attack or an anxiety attack, is that doomsday thinking. So it's definitely time to ask for help. To clarify, we have the Empress in reverse. There's such okay, all four major arcana, right? All four major arcana, two of which have to do with mothers or motherhood or like a maternal adjacent relationship. And three of these are in reverse. It feels like your entire life is upside down. Like it is so backwards as compared to what it should be. Yeah, pile three. And I feel like you're getting to a point where you are almost becoming complacent in the sense of, oh, I guess this is just my life now. Or this is how it's going to be forever, I guess. You know, that kind of thinking. It's very doomsday thinking. Because that is not all there is to life. That is not all there is to things, you know, to the world. There's so much more out there. And unless you seek help, you will never see it. I don't know if you can ever shake this person off because it feels like you're bonded, but you can carve out a space in this world that is your own. You can set boundaries. And not just between you and them, but between you and you. I feel like you tend to overgive in the hopes that that will smooth things over and that will, if you just give enough, it'll be enough. And it will change this person. If you do enough, it might impress them. And then as a result, they'll stop being nitpicky and stop being negative. But that's just not the case because them being the way they are is not as a result of anything you've done. It's not as a result of anything you've ever said to them or anything that you are. That's just who they are, and they are a product of their own upbringing. And there's nothing you can do to change that. What you can change is how you relate to yourself. And if you see yourself as someone whose only job is to please this person, that's all you will ever be. And I know, Pile 3, that you are more than that. I know you're more than that, and I know you deserve better than that. And that is why it's so important for you to seek out help. I'm curious to see whom you're supposed to reach out to, because while I could say, you know, a relationship therapist would be incredibly helpful, it almost feels like you're in that state of mind right now where you're like, well, this is just my situation. What will therapy do for me? You know, it can't change my situation. No, but it can help you see it in a new light, and that can make the world of a difference. But I'm curious, so let's have a look at whom you should be reaching out to. So we have the Six of Cups in reverse. Definitely don't reach out to people you already know or people from your past. Pile 3, this is... I know I keep saying therapy, but this is like genuinely, I feel like the person you should be reaching out to is someone who has nothing to do with any of these people. Anyone who knows this person. It's not, in fact, definitely, if this is like a family situation, don't reach out to other family. Even if this other family doesn't have contact with this person, they are not going to help you, because there's this rhetoric in society of, or at least there has been where I live, that, you know, if you are related to someone by blood, that they deserve infinite forgiveness, they deserve infinite chances, they deserve your respect even if they don't give it back. And you can never, ever, ever, ever cut them out of your life. And while I personally don't agree with that at all, a lot of people do. And if you grew up or you live in a similar environment, you might find that this person, or the people in your family rather, who you seek out advice from, might repeat that rhetoric back to you. Yeah, it's bad, but you can never cut them off. You know that, right? Whereas you need someone who is completely unbiased, who has no connection to any of these people. That's the kind of person who's going to be able to help you out. Because that person doesn't have a stake in this game. Whereas other people, if this is, say, a family situation, that's an example. But if there's a work situation and you complain about your boss to a coworker or to HR, they have a stake in the game, right? Because if you cut this person off, you might cut them off. And then they don't get to benefit from your lack of boundaries either. And so they might drive you to take more of this nonsense, right? So I would say when you do seek out help, look for someone who is completely detached from the situation and doesn't know any of the players in the situation. That's the only kind of person who can truly help you in a fair, unbiased way. To clarify, we have the Knight of Wands in reverse. Definitely look for someone who is quite mature, quite grown up. Don't look for like young people for advice with something like this, because I feel like you need someone who is at your level, has been at your stage of life before, and can speak from experience. I would definitely recommend like a family relationship therapist or like an occupational therapist or something like this. Someone who has experience in this situation. Don't go to like a random person you know who doesn't know what they're talking about and doesn't have experience with this situation and hope that they will help you see things from a new perspective, because that's not going to happen. Because they don't have the knowledge or the experience to help you with it. So when you do seek help, make sure it is someone who doesn't know anyone else in the situation and can offer you a third person's perspective, and B, someone who is quite emotionally mature, quite experienced and knowledgeable. Okay, but what advice does the universe have? Pleiades, double mission, channeling and uplifting humanity. This situation that you are in right now could be part of your starseed mission on this planet. You might be a very strong channeler, and I think the reason people like this seem to gravitate towards people like you is because you have an energy that lifts spirits, even though you might not feel it right now because you're so down right now. You might be someone with very like golden retriever energy. You might be quite funny. You might make people laugh who haven't laughed in years. Like, that's the kind of person you are. And maybe that's why the situation is so difficult, is because you don't have any of your own energy left in order to fulfill this mission of uplifting souls. And maybe that's why it is so intensely disappointing to be in this situation for this long, is because you know this is not your purpose. Obviously, this is not anyone's purpose, but especially for someone like you, who I feel like you have a clear idea of who you are and why you were put on this planet, and this is just getting in the way. And that's why the universe needs you to seek help right now. Is because your work on this planet is so crucial for all of humanity, and this is just distractions. Of course, it's karmic, it's supposed to be in your life, because if it wasn't supposed to be in your life, it wouldn't be. But even with situations that are meant to be in our lives, we are meant to grow past them eventually to get back to our main purpose. So definitely get that healing done, because even if it feels like you might not be able to shake this person off, at the very least, you'll know how to deal with them in a way that allows you to come back to yourself and come back to performing the task that the universe has set for you in this lifetime. So finally, let's go ahead and answer a question that you have in mind. So go ahead and think of a question if you haven't already. And this is the Animal Spirit Guide, the Spirit Animal Pocket Oracle deck. That's the one. And I'm going to go shuffle an answer for you. What's the answer for pile number 3's question? What's the answer to pile number 3's question? Oh, okay, there we go. Whale Spirit in reverse. Trust the great mystery. Okay. So this is card number 65. Of course, I'm going to read. What's interesting is all of these spirit animal cards came out in reverse today. Isn't that interesting? Especially, given that you literally have like 5 out of 6 cards in reverse here. Whale Spirit, trust the great mystery. Protection message. Certainty is not offered to you right now. You are being asked to trust the process of co-creation. Whale Spirit reminds you that your primary reality is not that of the material world, but that of the realm of spirit, from which the essence of your dreams and desires take shape before arriving as a specific form. Stay in your present moment awareness and allow the hidden realms to hold your intentions safely until it is time for them to manifest in the realm of form. Some things take longer than others to arrive. So if you've been feeling a degree of impatience, the universe is definitely acknowledging it and also telling you that the reason your things that you're trying to manifest have not shown up yet is because if they did, you would simply not appreciate them or even have the time or energy to appreciate them until you've dealt with this situation. So trust that if something is being kept from you, if things that you're manifesting have been kept from you, it's because the universe has a better time in mind for that to manifest. Okay? So that's your reading for today, pile number 3. I really hope it helped. If it resonated, please remember to give me a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button and comment down below. It really helps the channel out so much to have that extra engagement. Thank you so much for spending some time with me and sharing your energy with me today and letting me read for you. I really do hope it resonated and that it helped. Stick around to the end of this video for another reading on my channel, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye!